What's up guys, long time no see. Just kidding, I literally posted a video yesterday. This is so unlike me lately, but I love it. Anyway, before I get started guys, please make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Also, if you are subscribed and you haven't been getting notifications for my videos, please turn on post notifications. I've noticed a ton of people have been telling me that they haven't known that I've been posting, and it's kind of insane. So if you want to make sure you know when I post, please turn on your post notifications and subscribe, of course. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into today's video, which is of course comparing Claudie to 5 other dolls. So I have had Claudie now for all of like 12 hours and I can confidently say I'm completely obsessed, and for that reason, among many others, I wanted to compare her to some other dolls that are comparable in some way or another. I'm not saying that any of these dolls look a lot like Claudie, because honestly at the end of the day they don't, but because of the fact that every time that a new doll comes out there's always kind of questions of, hey, do they look too similar to this doll, or hey, like what about hair texture, is it like this doll, or whatever. So that's why I'm doing this today. I feel like it's interesting and it's something that I always want to see, so I'm hopeful that this will help somebody who's kind of trying to figure out if Claudie is the right doll for them. Now, like I said, I will be comparing Claudie to 5 different dolls in my collection. Unfortunately, I do not have McKenna, so I can't compare Claudie and McKenna, but what I can do is compare her to Addie, Cecile, Melody, Gabriella, and number 85. So that's what we're doing today, and I hope that it's helpful for you guys. If it is, please let me know in the comments down below. If you guys have any of these dolls, you know how awesome they are, so this is going to be really interesting. The first doll we'll be comparing her to is of course Melody. Now I know that not everyone even realizes I have a Melody because I never unboxed her on my channel, but I do have that unboxing video. I still haven't edited it, but it will be coming soon. You guys can check that out, but sneak preview, I do have Melody. So comparing Melody and Claudie, the first thing that I noticed obviously is a dramatically different skin tone, which I did expect. And the main reason why I decided to even compare them in the first place is because they're both historical dolls. They both have dark features, and they both have an interesting meat outfit where their main colors are blue and green. Now obviously Claudie's is more pastel, a lot more muted, and Melody's are really bright and vibrant, but I did see that in their collection. That was kind of an interesting little thing that I noticed, and so I thought it'd be interesting to compare them. Plus they are 2 very different face molds, but I always think it's interesting to see all of the new face molds compared to what we already had. So I hope that's helpful in some way, but they have a very similar eye color, definitely different in terms of like the details to their eyes. Claudie definitely has more of that like decal feel, where Melody has, as normal AG dolls typically do, just that very bright brown that kind of stands out. And I would also say that Melody has almost like an orangey undertone in comparison to Claudie. Claudie definitely has what I think of as more of an Addie skin tone, so we'll see if that's true once we get to her. But overall I definitely don't see these 2 dolls being very similar, but simply because they're both historical dolls and they both have black hair, darker skin, brown eyes, I felt it was really interesting to compare them. Now that being said, obviously we want to look at Addie next, because Addie has a very similar skin tone, and I was right on that. I feel like they do have a very similar skin tone. Definitely different, but closer than most other dolls, I feel. Part of the thing that I really wanted to look at comparing these 2 is the face molds, because obviously Addie has her very own face mold, and Claudie also has her very own face mold. So it's interesting to see 2 dolls that are the originations for 2 face molds next to each other. That being said, definitely there is a huge difference in their face mold shape. Addie has a much rounder face, where Claudie definitely has kind of a pointy chin. Obviously their features are totally different in terms of how detailed and how like realistic AG was getting. Obviously with Claudie there's a little bit more realism there, with kind of like the more realistic eyebrows with some painted on eyelashes. And that being said, I think obviously Addie's one of my favorites. The fact that Claudie can really stand up to Addie, and confidently I can say that she's a really beautiful doll that holds her own, that's really impressive. So I am really impressed by Claudie so far. And this might just be me, but I kind of feel like Claudie's face mold is the perfect mix between Addie's and Marie Grace's if you blended them together, where she kind of has Addie's full face, but with Marie Grace's kind of slightly pointed chin and kind of bigger eyes. Next up, we are going to compare Claudie and Cecile. Now, why I want to compare these two is not because they look anything alike, because honestly they don't, not even like a little, but the main reason why I wanted to is because the cile is super hard to find, kind of hard to come by, and expensive. So I wanted to kind of show if Claudie was a good alternative if you weren't able to find Cecile. Plus, I like the fact that Cecile also has kind of a blue meat dress, and I feel like pretty much every historical doll that I've shown you so far in this video had some sort of blue meat dress, and I think that's really cute. So, kind of off topic, but anyway, the thing that I really love about Cecile and that I always have is her hair, and particularly her little pin curls. Now, I did not realize that Claudie had little curls by her face, but she does, and it's like the cutest thing I've ever seen, and it kind of made me even more obsessed with her than I thought I was going to be. And that's, again, like I said, one of the things that I really loved about Cecile. So the fact that we have that in a current historical right now, I just love her. But if I'm honest, past that, there's really not much that these two dolls share in common, because their hair is two different colors. Obviously, it's sort of a similar color, but Cecile has definitely more brown hair. Claudie's hair is shorter than Cecile. It does have a different texture, and obviously their skin tones are crazy different. Cecile has almost like an orangey, yellowy undertone, where Claudie definitely has that deep purple red kind of undertone, just like Addie. And so it's really interesting to put these two next to each other. So I love doing these comparison videos because most of the time when I get a new doll, there's always one doll in particular in my collection that I'm always itching to really compare her to. And for Claudie, that doll in my collection was number 85. Now, the reason why I really wanted to look at these two is because they have the same hair color, they have a similar skin tone, and they really have almost a similar vibe to me, and I wanted to show them on camera and really see for myself if they are similar or not. And now, looking at them, there are quite a few differences that we will get into, but first I want to talk about their similarities. Because, like I said, Addie has a very similar skin tone to Claudie, and the doll that I feel in my collection looks the most like Addie, other than Claudie, is number 85. So looking at these two, it's very interesting to see that. Now, that being said, there are, like I said, differences, and the number one thing here is hair texture. Claudie definitely has very soft hair. It's very silky and shiny, where number 85 at the top of her head, I don't know if you guys can really see it in this video specifically, but she does have a lot of texture at the very top. There isn't a very clear part on her head, and I love that about 85. It's one of the things that I love the most about her. So the fact that Claudie doesn't have that isn't necessarily like a bad thing to me, but it's definitely something that I was secretly hoping for a little bit. But that being said, they have very, very similar skin tones, a similar lip color, but very different eye color as well. Like I said, Claudie does have those decal eyes, so if you have a Samantha, it's kind of like that, where they have, it's almost like a picture behind the front of the eye instead of being kind of like a clear all the way through. I don't know if I'm making sense here, but I'm sure someone else could explain it better in a different review video if you so choose to look that up. But anyway, that's how I feel about number 85 and Claudie. I do feel like they are the most similar so far out of these dolls, but again, they're their own dolls, and I don't think they're too similar to have both. So if you have 85 and you're looking at Claudie, I say go for it, because they look really great together, and they definitely are very individual dolls. And the final doll we will be comparing Claudie to today is Gabriella Girl of the Year 2017. Now, you may be like, okay, why are you comparing these two dolls? We've covered that she looks nothing like Cecile, and Gabriella kind of has that Cecile look, so why are we looking at this doll? The reason why, and the only reason why I'm comparing these two dolls, is because I want to show the hair. I debated whether I wanted to show you number 44 or Gabriella, but I settled on Gabriella because Gabriella has a really soft, shiny hairdo, just like Claudie. Now, the thing about this is I feel like Claudie has her very own unique hairstyle that I've never seen before, and I feel like she has a very interesting kind of mix of three dolls that I think about, and that is Cecile, number 85, and Gabriella. If you blended all of their hair together, you would end up with Claudie, and here's why. So first of all, Claudie has the hair color of 85. She has the hair texture of Gabriella, and she has the little baby pin curls of Cecile. So it's kind of like the perfect blend of a whole bunch of dolls that I love. Obviously a little bit shorter than any of those dolls, but that being said, I think she has one of the cutest hairstyles I've ever seen a doll come in for meet. And if you watched her unboxing video on my channel, you already saw me geek out over her bow. I don't know what it is about it, but I love it. I love it so much. Alright guys, well that's about all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to subscribe and join the family if you want to see more about Claudie, and also my updated All My Dolls video coming very soon. And yeah, thanks for watching. As always, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!